Welcome into PFF TV. I'm Cam Mellor with Mike Renner, and today we're talking about offensive linemen. In particular, we're talking about the most balanced offensive linemen heading into the 2019 season. We'll jump right in. We'll jump right into the tackle. Who do you have as the most balanced tackle going into next year?
Well, this is the guy who I think a lot more people would be talking about as the best offensive tackle in the NFL if he could just stay healthy, and it's the New Orleans Saints left tackle, Terron Armstead. The biggest issue with him is he's never played 1,000 snaps in a single season in his career, even including the playoffs. Past 3 seasons, 742 snaps, 667 snaps, 397 snaps. But the fact of the matter is, when he's on the field, he is arguably the best offensive tackle in the NFL. 90.4 pass blocking grade this past season. Also ranked second among tackles in run blocking grade. 87.4 overall grade this past season. I mean, there was not much he cannot do, and Saints just need him to be on the field, though, because when he's on, he is a game changer for that offense.
He's definitely a difference maker. You see it, and you see it when he's not on the field as well. So you got to throw an honorable mention here. There's somebody else similar to Armstead, except in the fact that he's on the field all the time. He's been Mr. Reliable in his career. Who's that as honorable mention?
Andrew Whitworth of the Los Angeles Rams. I think he just deserves a mention here because he's been this over the course of his entire career. Pretty much whether it was with the Bengals early on in his career, whether it was at guard or tackle with the Bengals, or even now late into his 30s with the Rams, hasn't slowed down one bit. I thought after the playoff loss back in 2017 where he looked like he was a little shot, he got a few times in that game. I thought maybe the wheels were coming off. Maybe he was going downhill. Nope. Back as good as ever this past season for the Rams.
It's pretty remarkable what he's been able to do his entire career. So we'll shift inside now. We'll go to guard. Most balanced guard heading into 2018.
I think it's probably the best guard in the NFL as well here, and it's Zach Martin of the Dallas Cowboys. Pass blocking has been incredibly stingy over the course of his career, never given up 20 more pressures in a single season at any point in his entire career, and he actually has the opposite problem, and not a problem, but of Terron Armstead in terms of he's played over 1,000 snaps every single year of his career. Mr. Consistency. There's a reason he was made the highest paid guard in the NFL, and well-deservingly by the Cowboys.
Well-deservingly indeed. I mean, the best trait is availability, and that's what Zach Martin has for the Cowboys here. But an honorable mention here, I think it's an up-and-comer, a guy from Georgia Tech. Where's he? Honorable mention for guard.
Yeah, Shaq Mason, I think, has really come into his own over the past few seasons for the New England Patriots. Was a big project coming out of Georgia Tech, running that wishbone offense there, firing off the line of scrimmage, not even taking pass blocking snaps. So to be in this conversation of one of the best all-around in terms of pass blocking and run blocking guards is a big testament to how hard he's worked at the NFL level, how well he's developed over the course of his career. Still has a little ways to go, still on the outside looking in terms of the real top pass protecting guards like the Zach Martins of the world, but in terms of run blocking, there's not much he can't do on the football field.
Yeah, he led the league in that regard. So last position here, we're going to jump in to the center, best all-around going into this year.
Jason Kelce of the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's a little bit of a surprise because early on in his career, one of the best run blocking centers in the NFL. There wasn't a block on the football field he couldn't make, get out in space. One of the best screen blocking centers in the NFL as well, but always got bullied in pass protection, just didn't have the weight to hold up to bigger nose tackles, would get bull rushed consistently into the pocket. This past season, though, only 11 total pressures, including the playoffs, so that's, over almost 730 pass blocking snaps this past season. That is ridiculous numbers for any center in the NFL, let alone a guy who's still one of the most undersized, still one of the most athletic centers, but still getting the job done, whether it's in run blocking or now pass protection.
Well, that's dominant in that division especially, but then including the playoff runs that they've had over the past few years. We'll wrap it up, though. We'll go back. We'll stay with the center here. Honorable mention as most balanced center going into this year.
Alex Mack of the Atlanta Falcons, 3 straight years now for the Falcons of being arguably one of the best centers in the NFL, right up there with Jason Kelce. A lot of guys in that Falcons line have taken a step back in recent years. He's not one of them, still playing at an extremely high level into his 30s now. Has been in the conversation for best center in the NFL pretty much his entire career, whether it was in Cleveland or Atlanta. I don't really see too many signs of slowing down. He took a little bit of a step back grade-wise, but it didn't seem like he was really slowing down. It just seemed like he was somewhat hampered at times by the guys around him there at the guards position for the Falcons. I think he's still going to be one of the best centers in the NFL this upcoming year.
The Falcons in general were hurt by injuries last year. Mack was not. He was still there. So there you have it. Most balanced offensive linemen at each position going into 2019. For Mike Renner, I'm Cam Mellor. We'll see you next time.